Hi, welcome, navigators. Welcome. I'm Marie Corbin, your host, and this is Pathway to Wellness Navigating Our Journey. We are in episode 12, Mapping Your Personal Safety Net, a practical and self-check guide. And I also wanted to just do a personal thank you to all of our subscribers who stuck with us during our absence in our sabbatical time. And I just wanted to say thank you again for just not unsubscribing. We really appreciate that you stuck with us during this time, this transition, as we transition from local work to global work. Okay, so I'm just thank you so much for being here. We don't have a huge audience, but we will, because we are excited to bring you global and local health news, policy updates, and travel tips. So, with that being said, welcome navigators. Okay, today we're going to talk about mapping your personal safety net. As I said, I'm your executive director and CEO, um, and global health specialist. Okay, so now I bring a unique perspective on what's happening in all things global health and locally from our communities all over, right? And we are going to continue this journey by experiencing issues going on nationally, globally, and here right where we live. And that's what makes this so exciting. Now, in episode 11, we were starting to explore what we mean by home is health. And what we mean by that is that what shapes your wellness that shapes our everyday lives is always in some most of the time depicted by like where we live, how we live, right? And what we have access to and what's around us. That shapes our health. It shapes our environment. It's part of the social determinants of health that we live by with our framework here at PHOSBC. So, today, as we're back in Santa Barbara, California, I wanted to focus on something many of us are living with silently. What it feels like when the safety net that we have had or have feels like underneath us it's breaking, or it's starting to break. When everything is going well, we barely notice the safety nets that hold our lives together, right? A stable place to live, having enough food in the kitchen, a way to get work or to go to the doctor, having someone to call when there's an emergency. These are all considered part of our safety nets. And for some people, the supports under life feels solid. The rent is manageable, food is mostly steady, transportation is working, and there are people that you can call in a crisis. But for many other communities, women and families all over the nation, that net has been stretched for a very, very, very long time. What do I mean by that? Well, maybe the rent has gone up again, but your income hasn't. Maybe you're choosing between utilities and groceries, or between a prescription and gas. Maybe you're working or you're caregiving, helping elders, your family, and still trying to be the one that others lean on when things go wrong. Maybe on paper, it looks like you have housing, it looks like you have a job, but inside your home, it can and does feel like you're constantly one emergency away from losing your footing, right? One broken door, one broken down car, one illness, one shift change, one shift cut, one notice on the door. It doesn't take much, right? Especially today. And if this sounds familiar to you, I want you to hear this clearly. Nothing is wrong with you for feeling overwhelmed, not at all. A lot has been going wrong around you, and in many places across the nation and globally, our systems and policies have never truly been built around the realities of women, caregivers, and the communities that are on the margins. At Project Heal Santa Barbara County, or OSBC, we like to affectionately call our organization, when we say home is health, we mean that your health is not just clinics, or lab results. It's about whether your home and your safety nets give you the room to breathe, to recover, and to plan, right? Or whatever you constantly need to function in survival mode. Okay, quick navigator break. We're going to take a quick navigator note. If you haven't already, don't forget that you can subscribe here for free to this channel and help us grow our community, and that will allow us to continue to bring free content to the world, right? This will allow us to continue to bring you free global to local health news, public health policy updates, and global health travel tips. All because you support this channel by staying a subscriber like our subscribers have in the past year, and by telling other people about what we're trying to do in our work and get more subscribers so that we can get sponsorships and things like that. I also have another announcement. Now, ladies, okay, this is for you. We specifically have designed a wonderful opportunity for you here at PHOSBC, and we can't wait to share the news with you. So while you're in the description box gathering your resources that I'm going to leave for you, swing by our website, and I'll leave the website link in the description box, right? Swing on over there and join the Ladies Global Health Travel Hub to become a member for free, or if you like, you could become a monthly subscriber for us. It starts as low as $5 a month. And then that way, when I start pumping out the information about us getting together for our travel plans that we have for 2027, you can be a part of that global travel / impact journey that we're going to go on next year. Now, back to our assignment, navigators. When we talk about home health and our safety nets and naming them and naming whether or not we even have one, we're simply naming that safety net or no safety map reality. We're naming out loud what many people are carrying around in silence. What does that look like? What does that sound like? What am I talking about? I'm talking about the exhaustion, the emotional exhaustion that we're getting on this everyday news that we're getting from different policy changes on a daily basis, right? We're talking about fear of the future. We're talking about all these things that give you stress, things that not knowing what's going to happen from day to day. These are the things that we hold in silence, especially as women. And it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense that we're feeling overwhelmed right now in this global economy that's just a little shaky right now. And this just isn't for a handful of families right now on any given night, like we spoke about in episode 11. On any given night, roughly 750,000 people, including 150,000 children, are homeless right now. That's the highest level ever recorded in our national counts, and much of that increase has happened since COVID-19, 2020, the global pandemic, right? In many ways, our country has leaned on women to be the safety net, patching together like a quilt, taking care of the children, the elder care, the emotional support, and income, often without any kind of community or policy backups. So that's why we really have to continue to look at, well, how does our home look? Because home is health. Home is part of that fabric. It's part of the social determinants of health. So instead of talking about safety nets in general, I'll invite you in the next episode to map your custom safety net plan. We're going to do that together. This will include like the people, the places, the programs, the practices that are holding you up right now, right? And the places where you've been holding too much by yourself. So I want you to remember in all this getting that you don't have to fix everything all at once, and you don't have to be ready to make these big changes. for right now, stay with me as we gently turn towards your own life, and we're going to begin with your own safety net more clearly, one vision at a time. And that's what we're going to kind of work on for next video, right? But before we move on to that next segment, where we'll map out your personal safety map, I want to leave you with a few things to think about. First, if your housing or your basic needs are unstable or they feel unstable, it's okay. It's okay. It really is to reach out for help. For instance, in your area, that might look like calling 211, right? Checking your local community resource line, visiting your trusted community centers and clinics, or your faith based community. And you can ask for support wherever it is near you and available to you. And don't forget, you have us, your biggest resource providers. Visit our global digital health hub at projecthealsbc.org and find all kinds of resources there. We have state, local, government help, and we're even going to begin starting to help people sign up for benefits through Benefits Cal if you live in the California area. Secondly, if you are feeling overwhelmed and alone, and what you're carrying, talking about your feelings with someone that you trust is always a good way to go. That could be a friend, a family member, again, a clergy, a neighbor you trust, a support group. You don't have to explain everything perfectly. You could simply say that I've been under a lot of stress lately and I could really use somebody to talk to. Lastly, but not least, if you're noticing signs of burnout, right, anxiety, depression, if you've been diagnosed and you have access to healthcare, consider reaching out to your healthcare provider. Consider reaching out to your counselor or therapist to have someone to talk to. Call 988. I think right now the 24-hour hotline is still available. So use that resource while we have it. Um, your mental health is not separate from your safety plan. Okay, it is all a part of your safety plan. Remember, mental health is part of your overall health. It is part of your brain is attached to your body's attached to your body, right? It's all you. So you can't detach. Um, like, oh, I have high blood pressure, or oh, I have this chronic disease, but then not look at your brain. Your brain is part of your health, right? So anyway, I know we're going through a lot right now. That's why we're talking about home is health right now, because we really want to make sure that wherever that home is, even if it's a tiny home, it's part of your overall health, and it's very, 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 very important. So remember, you're not the only one feeling this. You're not the problem. You deserve support while you're supporting the others, women, ladies. I'll see you in your next segment, and we'll start gently on mapping out a safety net plan for you and finding solutions as an online community together. So, navigate. Thank you for watching and for all your invisible work you do every day. Right? Where does your pathway take you? Where will you go next? What will you do next? What will you do to change and make things better for you? So until our next video, and I say until me, I say until then, navigators, keep your head up, and we love you. You got this. And don't forget to take care and caring for you. And God bless.